So you said you were 5.5K.
Yeah, I'm
And
currently like 5.1, but
yeah.
I should be back soon to 5.5.
Okay, cool. Can you link me your Dota buff page really quick?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Um, on Steam, that's right.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Do.
Okay. So let's talk about your issue because you said you have like issues with the mental side of Dota, like you
Yeah,
tilt.
I mean lately.
Okay, lately. Yeah, this is like it's often it's pretty common if you lose a lot, like you feel bad about yourself or whatever. But can you describe like what you actually feel, like what you've been feeling anyway, like
I mean,
for
I
last
mean,
streak?
I'm usually like a type of player who is not that flashy.
Hmm.
I'm not like the kind of player who 1v5 the enemy team and win the game alone. I'm like the the guy who tried to captain the team. And when
Mm.
I'm in this week, I don't know, I started to lose a lot, so
Hmm.
I was not captaining my team. I was still playing like I usually do, and I don't think I played like especially bad, but
Okay.
I wasn't like in a mental state to be able to captain my team to make them play better. So
Yeah. Okay.
and uh and of
Well.
course when you lose a lot, you get mad easily. It's like little things like I don't know a brute mother jungle, and you are already mad because GG. I mean, how how can I win this game? Why? And I
No,
have
no,
a
no.
lot of games that end in like 20 minutes. If you
Yeah. Well, first things first. Like picks don't matter really. Honestly, like
no,
even if it's Broodmother Jungle, like I've won games with Broodmother Jungle. Like this guy
I know.
farmed like a 9 minute
It's a
radiance or
fast farm,
something.
but damage your lane and your attitude about the game. It's like it's gonna be a hard game. You can come back because he will have items, but you have to survive that part, and you have to be strong mentally to
Right.
survive that part. Because it's super easy to GG out. It's like 10 minutes. You are on a Spectre, and you have I don't know 20 CS at 10 minutes, and that can happen because they
Yeah,
are
yeah.
obviously gonna aggro dual super fuck you up. Uh, uh, so yeah, it's,
Yeah, no, I definitely feel you. In cases like that, like it really is just like about mental strength. Basically, like you're not entitled to win a game of Dota, and like you're not entitled to have good teammates either. So like you shouldn't worry about those things. Like it's unhealthy too. Like I mean, how many times do you think somebody has gone into like Kotaro Hayama's game or like Arteezy's game and just like pick something really stupid? Like they pick Legion Commander jungle or like they pick dual mid or I don't know, like Crystal Maiden offlane or something. Like, and how many times do you think that those players have won those games?
yeah,
Like
they
a
usually win it, and you like you ask yourself like how do they do it, right?
right.
It's like
Well,
I understand.
the first thing they do is they don't GG out, right? Like
Yeah,
they try to win. So that's important. And also like you have to realize that like games aren't over on the laning phase usually. Even in pubs, like it might seem like your lanes get smashed or whatever, but there's always times when the enemy team can like mess up and like how many games have you lost where the enemy team just like dives your T2s or T3s or whatever, or like even T4s, and like they just dive for no reason when they could get racks and
yeah.
just win the game.
The throws are real. I know,
Yeah, yeah, they're so real.
but
It happens so often. So like games
they,
are never
they,
over, even if you're a 20 CS Spectre at like 20 CS or 20 minutes.
they have not been real lately. If you see my duration time of the games, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The TA ends on 21 minutes. I have another on
Hmm.
25. How how
Okay.
Valve expects me to win games? I don't know.
Well, I mean,
But
there's always stuff you
I,
can do.
I have not played especially better, so I'm not gonna say like my team it's awful and that's the only reason I'm losing. I'm not playing especially
Mhm.
well, but I'm not playing that bad to lose that much. That's the thing. I
Yeah. Well,
think.
it's normal for people that have lost streaks. Like this, like 5 loss streak that you have here. Like this is very normal. This is just variance. Like it happens to everyone. And it just happens to be like you have a 4 loss streak here, and then you win one, then another 4 loss streak. So you're losing a lot. So I mean, like that does happen.
I'm like 321 or something. I am about to lose my mind, honestly. No,
No,
I lost like 500
yeah.
MMR, 400 at least. I'm like,
No, I can imagine that. It's like really frustrating. But it really is just variance. Like as long as you're trying to win every game, then eventually it's going to go back. Like you're going to win all this back. It's not like, even though like it sucks to see that number like 5100 next to your name. I know that feeling. Like I lost my 6K one time and I was really sad. Like I was so mad. But I mean I got it back very easily. Like, you know, you were a 500 or 5500 player at one point. So as long as, even if you're like an OD spammer or like a troll spammer or like a sniper spammer, like in 6.83, like you're still going to get that MMR back because you were there at one point. As long as you actually try to win, like there's no reason that you can't get it back. The worst thing you can do to yourself as like a Dota player, especially if you're trying to get better, is just look at this red lettering here and see lost match. Like this doesn't matter. This green stuff, this doesn't matter either. Like none of this matters. All that matters is that like, and this is going to sound really cheesy, and I'm sorry for that, but all that matters is that you tried really, really hard and you tried to win. Like, and eventually the win rate is going to go up. Like, and that's what matters, right? Like if you have a high win rate, then, you know, your MMR goes up because you're getting more than you lose. Does that make sense?
yeah, it does.
Okay.
But I mean, I have that in mind, but it doesn't help that much when you are like, I don't know, in the draft phase and you know that you already lost the game because you lost like 4 games before and they were easier than this one because they are already like fighting about mid lane or something. You are like demoralized. It's,
No, there's no reason to get demoralized. Like there have been so many games where you just see like, or have you ever lost a team or to a team that has 5 carries? Like just Spectre, I don't know, anti-mage, something like that. Like just some ridiculous shit. Like, yeah, so because you've had those experiences, you should never worry about the draft. Like, just play your best. Do whatever you think is going to affect that game positively.
No, I'm not. Not about the picks, but about the players. Are like, I'm really tilted, triggered, and GG out. They are GGing out. You know, it's like I'm not even gonna play this game, and you are like, come on, guys. I mean,
yeah,
MMR. Help me out.
Yeah, there's not much you can do about that, but there is something that like that should make you feel better. And like, I know this is cheesy and it's another stat, but basically like, okay, so if you're a person that never GGs out and you try your hardest every game, then you have a smaller chance of getting those kind of people on your team than like another person. So like, okay, so I'll actually open up Paint for this, so I can't explain it with words. Okay, one sec. Okay.
I mean, I am like usually that kind of players, but this week was like I was not that kind of player this week, at least.
Okay.
I was losing so much that I
Okay.
cannot be positive when everything seems so negative.
No, you definitely can. You definitely can. You have the power to be positive. Okay, so let's look at this. So the red is the enemy team. Enemies. I can't spell. Okay. So great handwriting. Yeah. So okay. So this is the enemy team. There are 5 players on the enemy team. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So then this is your team, and we're gonna make you green just to like make you stand out. So there's 1 player here. This is positive. This is you. So you cannot throw games. You can't GG out. You can't do anything like that. The only thing that matters is your play. Then okay, let's assume that you have a chance to get Ragers on your team. So we're gonna make these guys red. Okay, so these are your teammates. So each one of these red dots has a chance to be a Rager or somebody who GG's out or somebody who like, you know, flames his teammates or whatever. In this case, your team has 4 because you can't be this, and the other team has 5. So they always have a higher chance of getting a Rager than you.
The odds are in my favor. Yes.
Right. Yeah, so the odds are always in your favor. So over time, like, and it might not be that comforting because, like, you know, over a period of 1,000 games or 100 games, like, you're going to have less Ragers on your team. And that's just, like, that's a fact, right? There's no arguing against this. Maybe you get, like, astronomically unlucky and every game you have a Rager or something. But, like, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen to anyone.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Right. So this should make you feel better. And it's like, I know in the heat of the moment, like when you have people like talking and fighting and, you know, talking shit to each other in game, that you're not going to think of this, but I hope this helps. So, yeah, this is what helped me when, you know, I had the same issue that you have. Because everyone goes through periods like that.
Yeah, I have like that on mine, but I don't know. Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
But I was one of the red ones, like at least this week, because isn't that easy to be stable mentally, you know, when you see those red
Well,
results?
it depends, right? Because like if you're a
Yeah,
person who
of
is
course, if you are like strong mentally, but I'm not yet that is strong at least.
well, yeah, I understand what you mean. If you focus a lot less on like the losses and the wins, like, and just worry about the game, like just focus on what you learned in that game, or like what you want to do in this game. So like, let's look at this Windrunner game. All right, see, we're playing against probably OD mid. Okay,
Actually,
so
it was a morph mid.
I was Morph mid. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's a weird matchup. So I'm not really sure about that. But either way, let's just say like, let's just do the very basic stuff. Like, okay, I want to get my Aghanims at like 16 minutes this game. Um, you can work for that goal, and then if you don't make it, you don't meet that goal, then you try to figure out why. Like, okay, well, Morph got too much in lane. Like, this guy, is really good. He LS hit me. He ended up killing me once. Something like that. Or maybe Lion and Slardar roamed on me at one point, or Lion and Rubik or whatever, and I didn't see it coming. Like, I didn't see them on the ward, or they were missing, and I didn't, infer that they were going to gank me. Something like that. Like, just focus on these kind of things rather than like, I lost 25 MMR, or I lost, or I won 25 MMR. Like, the MMR doesn't matter. That's something you can always gain back.
That seems. Yeah.
Okay.
I can do that. I can do it, I guess.
Yeah, it's like if you just focus on this and you don't like, you try your hardest to win, obviously, but like, if you just focus on learning about the game rather than winning, like the losses won't matter as much to you. Like, it sounds so cheesy, but like, I don't know if you've seen pro player tweets or whatever, where they say like, "I never lose, I learn," or whatever. It's like the cheesiest quote ever, but it really it does apply. Like, it matters. Like, that's such a good mentality to have.
It's like sometimes you win, sometimes you learn, something like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can.
And like you can learn while winning, obviously too, but you understand the idea very clearly. So yeah, that's something that like it's not a mentality that you can teach, but like if I give you all this, then hopefully you can like you can kind of get something out of that, because this is like a really big concept that will help you improve your mental game. Okay.
Oh, I think I am usually that kind of people. I mean, I am a positive guy. When everything is going downhill, everything is going downhill. So yeah.
No, I definitely understand.
Actually, I think it hits me that hard because it was like my first time losing that much. I'm usually like the type of people who, I don't know, win 4 and lose 2, or win 4 and lose 3, or I don't know. I don't gain that much and I don't lose that much. I'm not one of those people who like win 8 games in a row and gain like 200 MMR in like 2 days. No, I'm like winning 50 MMR, like
Right.
so it hits me. It hits me like losing 400 MMR in 3 days or something.
Yeah. No, that's certainly like it's pretty bad. Like I definitely understand the feeling. But you have to understand, like, every pro player has been in your position, right? Like,
I mean, RTC.
yeah, like, how many games have you seen? Yeah, that guy's lost so many.
700? Yeah.
Yeah,
6
something
or
crazy.
700 MMR. Yeah.
But he's still the best player in the world. Like, arguably, depending on who it is. Like, just because he lost that MMR doesn't mean he got worse or whatever. Like, if anything, it made him a little better. But yeah, so, like, definitely don't worry about this. You're going to get the MMR back. Like, unless you, like, bought your account or something, which, like, I don't think you do, or I don't think you did, then, like, yeah, then you're going to get it back. It doesn't matter. Like, it's just a matter of time. So long as you don't, like, you don't GG out in games early, you just try your best to win, try your best to learn in every game. Like, none of that matters. Like, this is all good. But yeah, I hope that helps anyway.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
I think
Yeah, so it's hard to, like, teach us, but this is all important stuff for sure. Okay, so we kind of got the that stuff out of the way. Is there anything else that you have issues with, like teammates picking bad things, or like other mental stuff? Like, do you have any specific stuff you want to talk about?
Um, hmm, I'm not sure. I mean, these weeks, like, games are not being easy, so I've been a bit toxic, I guess. Like, my
Mhm.
mentality have not been good, but how can practice this? You know, because when I try to learn something like mechanically, I like spam that thing. Like I don't know, trying to get 100 shares in 10 minutes. I can practice that. How
Yeah.
can I practice this? Like to be a positive guy, PMA, and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
When
how
I
do you
hear
practice being
things
positive?
like,
Okay.
yeah, I mean,
Well, no, that's a good question. That's a good question.
yeah,
Okay.
I mean, you can talk this all day. I mean, I can literally say this on my head every day, but when I start losing and I lose a lot, um, I'm not gonna be positive, because
Well, that's
right now I'm not that strong on mentally,
well,
How
right
can I?
there. Hold on, right there, right there. Those are two negative thoughts, right? Like, I'm not going to be positive. Like, that's a negative thought, right?
Yeah, I
Like right
mean,
there. So it starts right there. Like, part of changing your attitude to be positive is just like every time you slip into something negative like that, you have to like rein yourself back in. Like, I can be positive if I learn how to be, and it's like I try it really hard. Like, there's no secret to it. You can't just like switch off the positive attitude or switch it on. It has to be something that you like really try to implement into your life like every day. And that's hard. Like, I don't know your life. I don't know what family issues you have or like work issues or anything like that or school. Like, everyone's different, but the attitude thing is something that most people can adopt. It's just like you have to be so relentlessly positive with yourself in order to like make the switch. Like, one thing I know that's super cheesy is like anytime you have a negative thought, like, oh, I can't do this, like, I can't be a positive person or whatever, then you have to think of two other things that are positive really quick. So I can't be negative, but maybe if I tried really hard, I could.
for example, you're like you queue in a game and you are the highest MR in your team. For example, you are
Mhm.
6K, and
Sure.
at the other side it's RTC. So he's like 8K,
Right.
and there is 2K gaps. You say like, I cannot win this game. How can I win this game? How do you change your mentality in that moment? Or
Well, okay.
because
So here.
that's negative, right?
Yeah,
That's
no, that
negative.
is negative. Well,
Mhm.
the first problem is like that statement is absolute, right? Like it doesn't make any sense. You can't just say because Arteezy is on the other team that you can't win because Arteezy has lost a lot. Like
I mean, no,
he's lost a lot.
but I mean, you queue in a game and you see Artesia at the other side, your first
Yeah.
thought
Oh,
is like, I fucking lost the game. I mean,
okay. Yeah.
easy -25.
So that's a whole different topic, like the fearing a certain player thing. But to answer your question, what you could say is okay. One negative thing: Arteezy is way better than I am and ever will be. Like he's the best player in the world. I can never top him. So
Yeah,
okay. So positive things: since he is 8K and he's in the same average MMR game as me, his teammates are going to be really weak. So I can prey on them. Right? That's a positive thing.
yeah, yeah.
So that's something you can draw from that. And also, my teammates are going to be higher MMR, so two positive things. So they're going to be better than the opponents, most likely anyway, according to statistics and MMR. Like that's a fact.
That's actually good.
Yeah. So like looking at the big picture is really important in that case. Obviously, like the fear thing or fearing a player is totally different. That I mean, people could talk about the psychology behind that for like weeks, but yeah, yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense a lot.
Okay.
And for example, in game, like you are like, I don't know, 20 minutes into a game and you see like your teammates shit talking to each other and you're like watching all this shit show. How do you remain positive? And all those kind of things are thing. It's the more important thing, I guess. The
Mhm.
mental.
So I usually recommend just muting teammates who flame each other. Personally, I don't think that even if they say something valuable, it's not worth reading all that. Like it doesn't matter. Even if it's a pro player or whatever, if they're flaming, just like ignore them. Um, if it's a pro player flaming you, then maybe you should listen and just like
No,
try to learn.
not
But yeah,
blaming you. You are like,
yeah,
you're
no,
just
teammates are
watching.
fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, teammates are fighting. Then I still recommend just muting them. Like that's distracting you. So positive thing in this case would be at least I can mute them and I can play my game. Like
Okay.
that's a nice thing. It's not really exactly positive, but it's better than like, man, I hate reading this. Like I hate why do my teammates fight all the time? Like this is kind of a case where you just need to be like blissfully ignorant and just mute them and play
I mean,
Dota.
when you read like all the shit show they are doing, you're like getting distracted or getting demoralized because there is no way you can win a game with two guys like
That's not
I
true.
don't know.
That's not true.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely like you have a smaller chance like when they flame each other of winning for sure. That's true. But like I've won so many games where I just mute people like even at the start of the game. Like you'll see like periods of time where RTZ just goes into a game and literally the second he loads in, he mutes everybody. He individually mutes 9 players in his game without them saying anything. That's just because he doesn't want to read the stupid shit that they type. He doesn't want to know if they flame. He doesn't want to know like what they ate for breakfast. He doesn't want to know what they're doing in lane. Like he doesn't care. He just wants to play Dota. Like that's kind of the attitude that you need to adopt. Honestly, I think that's so important in a Dota player.
I think so too.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to talk about this.
Yeah. And like I'm not saying you need to go in and mute your teammates every game, but like
No.
if they say anything negative or like anything that has no value to it, then you can just mute them and you don't need to feel bad. Like it doesn't matter.
How do you deal with like when you get tilted or triggered in a game?
Okay. So tilt is another really complicated thing. You kind of have to like
But,
address
like when you get mad, at least.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I've been playing video games for like a long ass time. Like I'm sure you have as well. Like since I was a kid. So before I wouldn't do anything and I would just tilt and I'd go out of control and like, flame my teammates, whatever. Whatever game I was playing. It was really bad. But eventually like, I matured a little bit. I kind of learned to, calm myself down. Like personally, if I just like stop typing, I don't get that tilted. I don't know. So that's what helped me is just like, refraining from typing. It's different for everybody though.
Personally, I don't even type, but
Yeah, you just like,
I
you
mean,
get uncomfortable.
I see, I don't know, a 4K support doing some single pull shit, and I am like, what the fuck, mate?
Yeah.
Help me to help you. I mean, I want to carry this game, but you're not helping me.
No, for sure. In cases like that where your teammates are just doing stupid shit, you just kind of have to laugh it off. Like it sounds stupid. Like you can't just laugh at people that are ruining your game or whatever. But really, that's all you can do, right? Because you can't control what those guys are doing. Even if you tell them not to do something, like that's probably worse than just letting them do their thing. So yeah, the best thing you can do is just like kind of laugh at their mistake and identify like how that affects the game, and then just like keep playing. There's no like trick to avoiding tilts other than like the mental attitude thing. And even like the most positive people will tilt sometimes. Like maybe they tilt themselves. Maybe they make a really bad play or whatever. Yeah, it's all about just like being able to like pull yourself back, from the tilts. And really that's a personal thing. Like I could try to help you identify what makes you tilt personally and like, what how that manifests in your play or like your attitude or whatever. But it really is different from person to person. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's pretty important. Like the tilting thing is something that's tough to fix for sure, but it is something that can be fixed. Luckily, the first thing is identifying that you actually have the issue, right? And like you clearly have done that. You wouldn't have given me money otherwise. So yeah, so that's good that you're able to realize that. And like you seem like a very reasonable, person. Like you're not somebody who like, or at least from talking to you, it doesn't seem like you have a rage issue or anything like that. So like I think you're in a good spot now that you have identified it. You just need to like slowly work on it over time. Okay.
Yes, yeah. Seem
So okay. So is there anything else for like the mental stuff?
Not sure. I mean, I told you everything. What happened this week, basically. Like.
Okay. Right. It's kind of hard for me to come up with just a topic. Do you said you were a captain, right? Like, you try to captain your team a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I try.
Okay.
Because I'm like most of the time like the highest MR in my team. I play on South America, so
Okay.
I'm usually like the highest. So I try to captain these foggers, and because if no one captains, we lose the game for sure. Because as I say, I'm not like the type of player who can 1v5 them.
Yeah, you don't have
I
to be
need,
to win
like,
though.
yeah. So I need like my void to chrono them or something.
No, that's not necessarily true. Like, when you say this tells me that you don't understand something that's really essential for like playing core or like any kind of pushing hero, and that's like you need to push out waves correctly. And that sounds very general, but like one thing you'll notice when you watch like these star players play, like the pro players or whatever, like Iwo for example, he's a good person who does this. Like they always push out waves. Like they always are in a spot where they can't die, but they're also pushing a creep wave and they're pressuring the enemy team. And like you don't have to win a game by ever interacting with another hero in Dota in most cases. Like obviously you do to an extent, right?
I mean, of course. Like,
Yeah.
But you have to pick the right heroes.
Not necessarily.
Yes. No,
I mean, certain heroes make it easier for sure.
If you're like playing OD, you want to find man at like I don't know 12 minutes when you get drowns and you can win the fight. It's so easy to win games with like heroes like OD, for example.
Yeah, that's true.
A snowball in one team fight, he can get an ultra kill and GG. he has the advantage, and you need your team to do that because you need to win the fight with all 5 of them.
That's not necessarily true, right? Like, yeah, it's true if you want to beat 5 heroes on the enemy team. Like that's true, but you don't have to do this. Like if your team is going to be bad, like you have other ways to win the game that like apply to every single Dota game, and not like it doesn't even matter what heroes are in the game. It's always like there's always a way to 1v9. Even if you think that you're not somebody who can do it, you can. Like if you're a 5.5k player, or now 5.1, even then, like you are able to do this. You have the skills to do this. Like your mechanics are good enough to like push out lanes and farm properly, and like and pressure the map.
Yeah, I mean,
you have that skill.
I'm actually that kind of player, like who likes to farm a lot and farm efficient. Yeah, I think that's one of my biggest strengths. But at least in this patch, I do like to find man way more than before.
Yeah, that's not exactly what I'm saying though. Like farming efficiently is great.
No, I know. No, like you're trying to say like you should be like playing alone, something like that. You can play alone, something like that.
Sort of, yes, but like not even just in terms of like the hidden creeps thing. Like it's one thing to farm efficiently, but if you can farm efficiently while you're pressuring the enemy team, like their towers, making them chase you around the map, like split pushing and stuff, like that's totally different. Like you can efficiently farm and just sit in your jungle for 20 minutes and then be like, oh, why'd I lose or why'd I lose? But like you didn't pressure the map at all.
Exactly, you're not pressuring your enemy. That's basically what you're saying. Like
probably, yeah, because that's how you 1v9, right? Like that's how you beat even your teammates in the game. Is like they can't control you, when you do that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of my point. Is like, heroes do matter to an extent, like, but really it's more about creeps, like in their positioning on the map. I hope that makes sense because that's that's a weird concept.
But
okay,
I do still think like peaks matters a lot. Like you're not gonna take a tower with OD because OD basically deals no damage to towers. So you're like, yeah, I can be farming, but I am actually wasting like half my potential not fighting when I can basically kill everyone pressing Q. After 5 hits I don't know.
Yeah, that's true to an extent.
I know what you're saying. I mean, I do actually like to play like that. I am the anti-mage kind of player, or the hardcore farmer.
Right.
But if I am gonna pick OD, I want to fight because that's the biggest strength of the hero. It's not that he can flash farm.
No. I definitely agree with you. Like if you can, then fighting with OD is the best. But sometimes you're not going to be able to, right? Like maybe your teammates suck or whatever. The best thing you can do is just like take fights that are good and do your absolute best, and then like push out waves in between. And also what I'm saying is like you can't win every game by just like pushing creeps. Like technically you could, but realistically nobody can do that. If Arteezy can't do that, and he's like the best player in the world at doing that, then like obviously nobody else can. It doesn't make any sense. So like what I'm saying is basically like you'll increase your win rate if you just focus on like that kind of thing rather than like my Void missed his chrono, so we can't win this fight now, or like my teammates suck and they can't cast their abilities, so now we can't win this fight, or like my teammates picked really badly this game, so we can't win them, or we can't beat them in fights, or we can't catch the split pushing Nature's Prophet or whatever, or like the anti-major or whatever. Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying, is like if you just focus on these kind of things, you'll win more games over time, and that's what matters. Yeah. Okay.
Makes sense.
All right. So yeah, no, I definitely understand what you mean though. Like, you don't want to like when you pick OD, you're not like, okay, I can't wait to split push this game. It's going to be great. You're like, I want to hit people really hard because that's what my hero does. I definitely get that. Okay. So I can't even remember what we were talking about before. That spurred that.
Not sure, but
it's like hero
actually,
picks.
Looking at that game, the last OD.
Yeah, sure.
Party MR. And actually, I got really mad in that game.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't actually get like tilt or triggered because my teammates, but because I actually give me a second.
Sure.
No. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
So,
good.
I'm actually like the kind of player who doesn't get as mad with my teammates, but with myself when things are not like going well. For example,
okay.
If I lose my lane, I get really tilt. I think that's one of my.
Yeah, see, that's a whole different ball game. Is like tilting because of what you do. I mean, that's not bad. Like that's better than tilting because of your teammates. But okay, so we need to identify like what causes this because that's important. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you like a deep question here. Like, what do you want out of Dota? Like, do you want to be a pro player? Do you want to just be as good as you can be? Do you want to play for fun? Like, what is your goal?
I mean, I like to play Dota. I think.
Okay.
No, I mean,
no, I get you. I get you.
It's like, I don't know. It's like a unique game because it's not fun. I guess when you're playing, you're like stressed.
Yeah, no,
like,
I completely understand.
What the fuck are you guys doing, right? But
Yeah.
then you win the game and you feel like, yeah, this game is good, right?
Right.
And then you queue again, and everything happens again. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Yeah.
And then you win, and then you're happy again. It's like masochism. I don't know how to say it in English, actually.
Yeah, masochism is pretty close, I think.
Yeah, I think. But at Dota, I just want to. I actually, my goal, at least the last 2 years or something, it's like getting to the leaderboard. I think it's doable.
Okay.
Super doable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was on a team, but I'm not aiming for winning the international or something.
Okay. No, that's fine. Yeah.
But getting to the leaderboard, it's something like I wanted, and I want still.
Okay. No, that is very doable, like you said. But also,
I mean, like 1 week or 2 weeks ago, the leaderboard on the America, it was like 5.7.
Yep.
I was like 8 games away from getting to the leaderboard. It was crazy, and I started losing right there. I know.
Yeah. Okay. So this is all right. I'm so glad you brought this up. Okay. So basically, like, it's good to set goals for yourself. 100%. Like that's a very healthy thing. But it's kind of like you have to have a goal, but you need to like focus on getting there rather than, or focus on the journey rather than like the destination. So rather than thinking about like I need to get 5700 MMR or 5750 or whatever it is, it's like I need this 25 MMR here, or like okay, how do I make this make sense? Okay, so you need to just focus on winning that individual game, and then as soon as that game is over, yeah, it's step by step, exactly, yeah. So you try to win that game, you don't win it, okay, whatever, next game. The last game is like completely forgotten. You take what you can learn from it, and then just like completely discard it. Then you go to the next game, like okay, try your absolute hardest to win this one. Okay, if you don't win that one either, okay, just learn what you can, bring it into the next game. Like just keep going like that. Like a lot of people will like they have issues with getting over gaps or like or getting over hurdles. Like so like for example, your hurdle is getting to the leaderboard. So going from 5699 to 5700 or you know whatever is the leaderboard minimum. But yeah, so they'll get very close and then they'll just start losing because like they think it's harder than it actually is. And this is like I wish I could study this because it's like a very interesting mental phenomenon.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Actually.
And like
I'm pretty sure I had like mental blocks. I don't know even how to say it, but for example, like I don't know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, like 4.5 was like I cannot reach 4.5 or I cannot pass that. I was like always 4.4, something like that, for like 6 months or something. And then 5K, I was like, oh my god, I cannot reach 5K. I think that's actually true. You have like mental, I don't know,
mental blocks. Yeah, that's how you say it. Yeah, so like everyone has those for sure. I'm glad you brought this up because like okay, so I had a mental block as well at 5K. Like I think it was about a year ago. I don't actually know the exact time, but either way, like I was 49, you know, around 4900 for a long time, and I was like playing on an amateur team and stuff, so it didn't really bother me. But like I could never get to 5K for some reason. I didn't really know what it was. But like think about the difference between what a 4900 player is and a 5K player is. Like just 5000, not like you know 5.3, 5.5. Like it's fucking nothing. Like there's no difference. Like there's barely any difference at all. Like obviously it's a little different from being like, you know, 4.5K to 5K. Like then there's a big difference, right? But the distance between 4.9 and 5K, or in your case, like 5.5K in the leaderboard status is like so minuscule that it doesn't matter. Like you don't have to be so much better in order to get there. If you just improve gradually, you'll get there, like guaranteed. Like I wish I could explain this better, but basically
like it's like you are not better being 4.999 and 5K, right?
Yeah, no, exactly.
You didn't get better. You just win a game.
Yeah, so I'm gonna clear this. Okay, so let's look at this. All right. So this is 4K. All right, actually I should type this. Okay. So these are just going to be like markers, and we're going to pretend that the distance between these is very like exactly the same.
Equal.
Yeah, equal. So okay, so they're obviously not, but you know they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Okay, so here is 4K. Then next is 5K. Actually, let's do 4.5K. Okay, next is 5K, and next is 5.5K, and so on. It goes to like 6K or whatever. Like obviously this is very inaccurate, and I'm pulling these numbers out of my ass. But still, okay. So where you're trying to go right now is from here. So 5 point, you know, let's just say let's just assume that you're a 5.5K player because you were there at one point. So you're trying to go like.
I mean, 1 point was like last week. It wasn't like a month ago even. It's like literally last Saturday. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you're basically a 5.5K player. And you're trying to go to 5.750. Let's just say it's around there. So it'll actually be like right in the middle of this. Like, this is nothing. This is nothing. Like, you've already gone. Like, you've already covered this much. Like, you've covered all this and way back. Like, you know, far past this. You know, from wherever you calibrated to here. It's like this should be nothing. Yeah. So that's a ton of MMR, right? Like, you've gained that over time. Now it is harder to like get better at the game after you get to like, you know, 5K. That much is 100% true. And that's just because like you're playing against better and better players. and it's less about like, can you last hit, 10 CS per minute or whatever, and it's more like, can you pressure the right place on the map? So it is harder. That's 100% true, and I'm not going to deny that and like try to bullshit you or whatever. But this is still like, there's still like this distance, and that's it. Like this is all that's in between you and 5.7K, and it might seem like it's a big deal, but it's not. Like this doesn't mean anything. There's no like hidden algorithm or whatever that makes your games harder. Like it's all the same. Does that help?
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
I know.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. So I hope that was helpful anyway.
I mean, it is.
Not the best, most accurate thing, but yeah.
No, I got the point.
Okay.
But I think everyone knows that games aren't getting as harder in like 50 points difference in MMR. It's like...
Right, but then if that's the case, then why do people have blocks like you said? Like, why did I get stuck at 5 or 4.9K, and why did you get stuck at 5.6 or whatever? Why did you just randomly start losing? Like all this, like what happened here? Or I guess let's use purple for this. Like what happened in this spot here? Like where you just went back down?
That's actually a good question.
Yeah, it's not like you just got worse, right? Like you don't just like randomly lose, 700 MMR worth of skill points or whatever you want to call it.
I mean, playing like tilted or trigger makes you play worse, but
yeah, no, that's definitely true.
Played that worse, like.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm not sure how else to explain this, other than like what we've already talked about. So I think if you do like what we talked about earlier, like you just take every game in stride and you do your best to win that game, learn from it, and then completely discard it, forget about it. Like you'll eventually get to your goal. Like that's just gonna happen. Like if you're playing every day and it's like you're doing this constantly, and you were only like 100 MMR away, like there's absolutely no way that you cannot do this. You can get it 100%. And I'm not trying to like sell you a dream or anything. Like this is extremely doable. Yeah.
I hope so.
No, you definitely can. Like you don't even have to hope. Like it's a pretty much guaranteed thing. Now you're not like entitled to it. Like nobody owes you this, but you can get it for yourself if you work. Like it's guaranteed.
By the way, now that we are like talking about MR and stuff, how do you improve yourself? Like for you at least.
Okay.
What did you improve? Or how do you improve like now?
Yeah. Well,
because you cannot like practice on a lobby to last hit because you already know how to last hit. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's actually not true to an extent.
I do it because I do rotations and try to maximize my farm, but that's not gonna make me a 7K player,
No, for sure. Well, actually, it might, to be honest. It definitely like don't neglect the last hitting thing because it's really, really important and like the basics.
That's how I live for, man. I'm a farmer, but
yeah. Definitely don't neglect those, but I'll answer your question directly anyway. So there's a couple of things. Like when I was like playing a ton of Dota, like you can see here, I don't actually play that much anymore. Okay, so yeah, and also this is party MMR, just so you know. Yeah, so I am 6K, but yeah, so like I don't play that much. Like here, I played 4 games in the last couple weeks, and like all this, like this isn't very much at all. But if you go way back, like here, I'll bring up my Dota buff. I played a shit ton. Like it was a 10 games a day kind of thing. Like I played so much Dota. Like okay, so here this summer, 11 games, only 6 this day, 9 games this day, 11. So I just played a shit ton. And after every game, I went over a replay. So I just went in, watched the first like 5 minutes while I was queuing up for the next one, and like just did that. And I tried to figure out like what I could have done better during that period. And then at the end of the day, or at the start of the day, I would watch a pro play and just like, see what they did and then try to apply what they did in my next games. Like that's the best thing you can do. Basically it's just like constant like grinding, like just playing a lot of Dota or as much as you can anyway. Watching your own replays, at this point, like it's healthy for you to watch your own replays because like you can tell like if you go to gank bottom and you miss your stun or, something like that, that it's not a bad play so long as you hit your stun, right? Like, you're able to make that judgment. So it's not bad for you to watch your own replays. It's actually like really helpful. But yeah, basically like it's a combination of just playing a lot, trying to learn like from the game and also like watching the best people in the world play, and then trying to apply what they do in their games, and really trying to understand why they do it. Not just like, okay, I saw Arteezy build like I don't know, Medallion Radiance Crystal Maiden, so I'm going to copy him. It's like, okay, why does Arteezy think this build is good? Like, why does he do it? Okay, obviously like that build is bullshit, but yeah, you understand my point. Like, yeah. So,
do you like Bail on bottom? You watch Arteezy playing like spamming bottom, Mirana?
So I watched him play it. Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
Mirana before the major, I think.
Yeah, the Veil build.
Like, getting Veil.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that was just like trolly, to be honest. Like, I don't think that was good, but
You didn't like it. I mean,
no.
It was interesting at least.
Yeah, and like he owned with it, right? Like he was owning, but yeah, I don't think it's that good. 1 sec, I'm gonna take off my sweatshirt. Okay. Okay. So yeah, so Arteezy, like, he did that ridiculous like bottom build or whatever, and like I don't even think he thought it was good. I think he just thought it was fun because he could like solo kill people and stuff. But yeah. So either way, what I said applies. I think it's just like trying to understand the why rather than like just directly copying. That's pretty important at your stage because you're at the point where like you said, you can't just gain 500 MMR by getting a couple more last hits in lane or whatever. You got to start having a vision for the game and like understanding higher level stuff like map movements and stuff like that. And that's like, unfortunately, there's no easy fix for that other than like constant grinding and like watching replays and like really trying to understand stuff.
Yeah.
I know.
I know. Like, so if I actually want to improve myself, I should like watch my own replays, like every game at least.
It doesn't have to be every game.
Minutes or something. No, but like at least every day, like, right?
Yeah, you have to watch some kind of replay every day. I think that's really important.
Some stream.
Yeah, or you could watch the stream too. Yeah, but I like the replays just because like you can get direct knowledge. Like I can go into this game and see like, oh, my friend played a fucking Witch Doctor, and I can watch like very specifically like the laning phase and then like the last 10 minutes or whatever. Like you can be focused. Whereas like if you watch a stream, it's bad.
How do you know that what you did was good and not bad, and you gain a bad habit? Because
okay,
I mean, if you did that, it was for a reason, right?
Yeah. So this is tough. You basically have to look at it as like a. Okay, so
for example, when I don't know, a 2K player sees
right.
someone and he starts blaming that player, he has no idea of what is happening. Like,
oh yeah,
he's watching lights,
yeah, he has no idea at all.
Yeah, he has no idea what is happening, and he's blaming the 8K player.
Yeah.
No clue about what is happening. How I know I'm not actually doing exactly the same. Like,
okay,
saying like this is a very good play when it was awful, and that's lost us game in the long run. I don't know.
So there's no trick to this, but what I do is like I try to come up with something better that person could have done, and like try to like also assess the outcome. Like, okay, so instead of sitting mid and farming, could I have TP'd bottom and ganked their offlaner, or TP'd top and ganked their safe lane, or something like that? You basically just have to look at all the possible outcomes of that situation and all the possible like routes you could have taken or the paths. So like, all right, I'm gonna draw again, unless you have any objections. So sorry.
No, it's fine.
But okay.
Whatever.
So all right, so this is you. You are green. So keep things consistent. Okay, so this is you, and this is like a very specific moment. Like this is 1 second of a game. So from here, you have a couple choices you can make. You can like, okay, for example, you can go top, gank their safe lane, or you can stay mid and farm, or you can go, to another place and do something else, like go jungle or some shit like that. Like you have to look at all of these and like determine which one is the best based on like what the outcome could be. Like, okay, let's say you go top. You're able to kill their safe laner, and get the safe lane tower. Obviously, that's really good. And like, obviously, it's more complicated than this, right? Like, it depends on heroes, you know, where heroes are positioned, wards, like so much other shit. But bear with me for a little bit. Okay, so if you stay mid and farm, you get this. You know, you get a reliable amount of CS. There's very little risk. Maybe you can pressure the tower a little bit as well. Okay, then maybe going bottom, you kill the offlaner and get the offlane tower. You need to like assess how that's going to affect the outcome of the game. So like in this case, if you have the option to kill the safe lane carry and it's not going to take you too much time, then it's probably the best option, right? Like that's just usually how it is. The best thing to do is just like if you can't come up with anything else, like anything that would be better, then it's probably a good play. It depends though. Like you just have to look at like what you're giving up for this, or what you're giving up to go for this kind of play. So like the blue one would be like the basic one. So this, we'll consider this like not a play. Yeah, so this is like nothing. This is like standard. Okay, I'll write that. Okay, so standard. And then the red and purple paths are like non-standard. Like those are considered plays. Like whereas this was just like farming in lane. So you have to consider what you're giving up to go on the red path from the blue path. Does that make sense?
And what you're risking, though. I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
I get the point.
Okay, so that's pretty much how you decide whether or not something is good or bad, and it's not like cut and dry, right? Because like maybe you get the kill top and you get their tower or whatever, but maybe a guy pushes mid or something.
Or even worse, you went top and the safe lane farmer kills you.
Oh yeah.
It was the right. It was the right idea.
Right.
It was the right play, but someone didn't press his keys or something.
Yeah, something like that. You just have to like look at it objectively, rather than like, you know, what happened, you know, what actually happened. Yeah, that's my best advice for this. There's no like, you know, like correct answer for this, but yeah. I hope that helps.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty important. Trying to think of something else that is related to that. If I think of it, I'll try to remember that. But yeah, okay. So you have this. All right, no, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say for this anyway. Definitely just look at the situation and like, if you can't think of anything else that you could have done, then it's a higher chance that it was a good play and you just misplayed. And at that point, just like look to see what you could have done to make it better. Yeah, basically like it doesn't even matter if it was a good or bad play. If you look at it and like try to assess what you could have done better, and eventually like you'll be able to come to the conclusion of whether or not it was good. If you're like, if you can't find anything wrong with your play, like if you played immaculately and so did your teammates, but you still lost or whatever, then at that point you should, you know, probably consider the fact that it was a bad play, and then try to figure out why. Like maybe it would have taken you too long to go for this red path rather than like go for the purple one or stay mid or whatever. Like it's hard, you know, without giving you real in-game examples, but yeah, I think you might understand my point.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, what else is there? All right. So, are you someone who uses the mic a lot in game?
No, I don't. Actually,
Okay.
I don't have my mic on my computer. Like,
Okay. No, that's not bad. That's good.
I have my mic on my notebook. Like I'm right now on my Mac, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I have like my computer, who I used to play, like,
Right.
next to it.
Okay.
I don't actually hear a shit about what those monkeys are saying, so it's fine.
Okay. Wait, do you have in-game sounds?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
Do you actually like the in-game sounds? I don't.
Yeah. No, like that's actually important. Like these spells give you audio cues, right? So like.
Yeah.
I'll just go into a game really quick. It's actually really important.
Used to.
Yeah, but this is information that like you aren't getting access to. So like let's just jump into this really quick. Like if you're looking at part of your screen and like you hear something off to your right, like you can know what spell is being cast or like what's going on, like based on this without even looking. So like right now, if I'm listening to mid,
the Ursa Roar, right?
Yeah, Ursa
something
Roar or
like
something like that,
that.
or like even just right here. So if my camera is right here for whatever reason, God knows what, I can like I just heard Phoenix dive in. I heard missiles go off, laser used, haunt was just used. Like just listening to this, and I don't think you can hear with screen share, but yeah, like okay, Urshiker just kicked or Urspirit just kicked a boulder. Slark pounced, used Dark Pact. Okay, you see what I mean? Like this is all information that's very easy to gather. And like, yes, you could make the argument that like, okay, well, you could just move your camera and see this. It's like, you're basically like, you're cutting off a source of information, and that's not good. Like, this is important, I think.
Yeah, I think the biggest reason I don't use my headphones on my PC, it's like because I don't want to hear them.
You know.
My teammates.
Oh, okay, yeah, dude, you just
Like,
turn that shit off then. You can just turn off voice. Where is it? Okay, voice right here. Boom. You don't hear any teammates.
No, that's my. I think that's your mic, not their mic.
Are you sure? Because this is all volume. Like this is unit speech here. This is this is your in-game thing.
Oh, maybe.
I'm not sure. Hold on.
Actually. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is voice. I'd be willing to test this afterwards, but yeah. So this is like your teammates, I believe. Okay, hold on. So so there's no like other thing for voice.
I mean, you can mute them, mute them all.
Yeah, like there's that too, but
the audio mute right? With the.
Oh yeah, that's actually perfect.
Update.
Yeah, you can just mute this. Holy shit, that's right. So yeah, if that's the case, then like just mute them in game, and then you can still see them type, and that's fine. And you can mute them, typing too, if that becomes an issue. If that's the case, I know there's a way to just disable voice, but I can't see it for whatever reason. I'm blind or something.
No, because they changed the settings.
Yeah. So it is a little weird, but yeah. So that's definitely something you can do. I definitely recommend you have sounds on.
I should do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can do it.
Okay. So yeah, that's big.
Actually something doable like right now.
Yeah, it's very easy to fix, and like maybe it doesn't even help that much, right? But it's something that like you're denying yourself.
Makes me win one game in 100, but
yeah, maybe
one game.
Yeah, and it's so easy to fix, right? Like
yeah.
Okay.
It's
so
like increasing the odds, right?
Yeah. No, for sure. Okay, so that's good. I'm glad we talked about that. I forget like why we jumped into this game. Maybe it was just that reason. But either way.
You were like the hearing thing.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah. Also, I don't recommend you use them like too often. Just for the record. I know you said you don't, but that's good.
I will not use my mic.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. People generally don't like people who use mics for whatever reason. I don't know why it is. It doesn't make any sense, but that's just true. So yeah. Well, Okay, so I wish we got time to jump into a game or whatever, but I think we covered a lot of stuff anyway. Like, I mean, you seem to be a pretty smart guy, so like, I don't think you'll have any issues like doing this stuff and increasing your MMR, so long as you like really try.
I was not worried that much because my memory dropped, but I was worried about my mental state about the game.
Right.
I was actually playing mad, and I was getting really mad really easily. So, like, I don't know, I was playing a game, like a normal game. I remember that our warden, it was like, I don't know, minute 2. I have lost like 5 games before that game, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna chill with my boys. Okay? and then their team paused. And I got mad because they paused. I was like, holy shit. Okay, I just want to play my Dots. They pause and they keep pausing, and I was totally mad. And
yeah,
you see that, and what the fuck is happening with these kids? Like, they are just pausing. Don't get mad. It's just a game, but you're stressed. MMR does mean something. I think it's like,
well,
at least for me, MMR does mean something.
No, it does, like, it reflects your general skill and like how you can impact a game for sure. It does mean something for sure, but it doesn't like.
How do you deal with I don't know, with tilt when you're losing? Because it's not that easy. But when you're winning, everything it's it's fine. You're like, yeah, let's wait for him. I don't give a fuck. But when you're losing, you're like mad.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an easy thing, and it's different for every person. Like if you do what we talked about earlier, though, and just like look at like what you learned in that game rather than the outcome of the game, then that's a good way to deal with it. And I definitely agree that like MMR does mean something, right? Like you can tell the difference right away between a 4K player and a 5K player. Like that is so easy to tell. Like it's incredibly easy. You can tell like often if you don't even see the number. You can just tell by like how they move around, like just like clicking in a lobby or whatever. Like I definitely agree with that. But like it would be hard for somebody to tell like how do I explain this? Like okay, so I think like it's harder to tell the difference between like a 5.1K and a 5.5K, especially like if you're somebody who has been 5.5K before, like it's much harder to tell. Like does that make sense? I feel like I explained that horribly, but yeah. Basically like
it's like the pain you did before.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
There's no difference between a 5.5 and a 5.7.
Yeah, basically. Like even if there is a difference, like most people wouldn't be able to tell. Like even pro players, I don't think could really tell. They can give a ballpark estimate, but yeah. Basically, long story short, just don't care about MMR. Like do your best to win every game, and then the MMR will come, and you don't need to worry.
What do you think you do better? Why do you think you are like 6.3 or something?
Well, I'm not
For
like
example,
okay. So I'm not like a mechanical player like you. Like I'm not somebody who's like sick. I'm not universe. I don't hit all my stuns. I mess up a lot. But I'm usually in a good place at the right time, and I know how to push lanes really well. Like that's something I really focus on, and like it is the macro game. So like just being in the right place at the right time. Like okay, so
what type of heroes do you play? Like
I play a lot of Nyx, a lot of Kunkka, a lot of Earthshaker. Like basically
and with Nyx,
offlaners.
you're like pushing lanes.
Well, yeah, sometimes. I mean, obviously, like much less on Nyx because like Nyx has to stay off the map.
With Nyx, I've seen like players with I don't know 50 CS with Nyx.
I mean, sometimes like I farm with Iron Talon in the jungle, but like Nyx is a bad example, I think. Because like obviously you want to stay off the map as Nyx and like don't show yourself and stuff. But yeah, I still do farm.
The kind of heroes you use tells about your hero style.
Right.
No, not style. Like yeah, that.
Right.
What do you do in the game, basically?
Yeah.
I don't know if you are like the type of Nyx and Bada and I don't know those utility / playmakers.
Yeah.
You're not farming, so you're not like pushing lanes.
Well, you are sometimes. Like that's the key thing is like you're pushing the right lanes at the right time. It's too heady of a subject to talk about now, but I think the best thing that I am good at is like if the supports are leaving my lane, rather than getting a lot of EXP in my lane, I'll go mid and counter gank if I know it's a good idea. Like I'll just sit behind my mid laner as Earthshaker and like fissure for my Shadow Fiends, and I'll prevent him from dying, or we'll get a turnaround kill or something like that. That's what I'm good at personally, is like reactive plays like that. I think that's not something that's very common in a lot of players, and I think if I wasn't good at that, which is something that like I focus really hard on, then I probably wouldn't be a 6K player. But who knows?
Yeah, I totally understand. It's like, for example, for myself, as I said, I am not like a flashy player, but I'm really good at farming.
Right.
I'm really good like at captaining my team. Captaining? Yeah, my team.
Yep.
So, for example, in this week, when everything went downhill, I wasn't captaining my team because I was mad at them. I didn't want to talk to them. I instantly mute chat and everything. So I think that's actually one of the reasons I lost MMR, because I wasn't using one of my skills.
Yeah, it could be. No, it could very well be. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Like, and the thing with captaining though is it's harder than like actually playing Dota, right? Because you have to control everybody, and like you have to make the right calls. So it's definitely tough, but that is a skill, for sure. And that makes sense that you would lose MMR by not doing it if that's something you had gained MMR with in the past.
I actually think I used to gain MMR.
And like if you find yourself being lazy or like you just don't want to captain or whatever, like don't worry about it. You can just be like, you can try to win and like push objectives by yourself or whatever, and like Just say like type to your team like G mid or something like that, and like keep it like that.
What do you think are like the best to do that? Like,
Probably
the,
probably heroes like OD. Honestly, like if you're the highest MMR in your game, like people are just gonna follow you around basically. So it's better to be on a fighting hero, I think.
mid or safe lane?
It depends. I think mid is like slightly better, but safe lane is really good as well. It doesn't matter so much.
I think the big thing about OD, it's like games get really hard when you lose the lane or don't.
No, for sure.
Don't go as expected. Like if you are a safe lane and you're dual or 3 lane, depends on if you have a jungler or not. Like cannot outzone the off laner, or game gets off and you die in the lane. It's really hard to recover from that. I
Yeah,
think
that's true.
My last OD are like exactly this example, the perfect example for that. When lane didn't go as well as they should and everything went downhill from that. I think that's actually the big thing about OD, safe lane.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I mean, that's with most heroes. So like, there are very few heroes that can do poorly in lane and then still expect to win. Like Spectre is one of them. Yeah, exactly. Like, or maybe I don't know, Sven almost kind of if you're stacking. It's still less so though.
If you can get out alive of the lane and go jungle, you can recover with a few heroes. But OD cannot do that.
Yeah, no, OD can't farm.
Like, no, you. Excuse me. What? Sorry.
Yeah, OD cannot farm, so I definitely agree with you.
OD cannot farm. Yeah.
Yep. No, so that's just part of the hero, right? Like, I would consider that like a fundamental issue if you're losing lane that hard. He can come back through fighting, and that's the only way. But yeah.
Hard, but if you are, I don't know, getting contested farm, or you, I don't know, the supports couldn't outzone the laundry, and they left the lane, and you're like level 5 and he's level 5th, I think 5th, yeah.
Yeah.
You're like 1v1 LD, you're fucked. LD is gonna win the lane for sure.
No, that's true.
And then you're like, I don't know, 12 minutes into a game and you have not drowns. You're like, what I'm supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like,
in those games, you just have to like try to fight and like take really good fights for yourself and come back through that way. That's like the only way OD can win fights. And like the nice thing about him is you can still do damage, like even with just treads.
But
like
example, so as you said, you're like, you have to go fight.
Yeah.
But what if your team doesn't want to fight?
Oh, that's tough, right?
that's what I said before. Like, I don't know, half an hour ago, when I said like, what happened when your team don't want to play with you?
Well, in that case, like it's hard to win, right? That's like so many different bad things in a row, though.
When I say like, what if my void don't want to chrono or something? I say something about
yeah, it was something like that.
That's what I was trying to say. Like, your lane was not as good as expected. You are like, okay, guys, what can we do? But everyone is doing whatever the fuck they want. You're like, okay.
No, I definitely understand.
Because you are gonna get ganked for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me talk real quick. I know what you're saying though. Like for sure. In this case, so like you were also talking about how you weren't captaining your team, right? Like before. So are we talking about the same games? So like let's look at your match history. Okay. This OD game. Did you captain your team? Did they know when to fight? What about this one or this one or this one? Like if you're not like actively trying to get your team to group with you, then at that point like you only have yourself to blame, right? Like, if you actively try to get people to group and you're like, cordial and, courteous, then you can blame your teammates at that point. Like, it's whatever. You can still try to win, obviously, but yeah. But if you're on a grouping hero like this and you're not actively trying to, like, gather your team up in some way, then that's kind of your fault, honestly. Like, so you can't have both, right? Like, you can't just tilt and shut off and then also have your teammates group with you and do the right thing. You got to actively try to win and, like, help your team out. I hope that makes sense. That's like the flaw in your logic that I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we are out of time. So, I think just to recap, like, big things that you should focus on are like, not having result-based thinking. So, like, don't decide if it was a good or bad game based on like if you win or lose. It's like the only bad games you're ever gonna have are ones where like there's an intentional feeder and you can't learn anything from that. Like if a guy just runs down mid at the start of the game and just feeds 30 deaths, like you can't learn anything there, obviously. But like any other kind of game you can always learn from, and those are good games. So like you really just need to focus on that rather than anything else. Like obviously try your hardest to win. Like I've said that so many times, and you know that. So yeah, just really focus on learning from your games rather than winning. And I think that will benefit you like a lot. And it will help in these situations. Like it won't make them any easier to take, but it will still help.
Yeah, I think it's the mentality I should try to get. It's good.
Yeah.
By the way, one like last question.
Sure.
If not OD, what hero you should like try to use to do exactly what you say, like push lanes on.
So push lanes. Okay.
I mean, not only push lanes, but try to play in the way you said.
Yeah. So Death Prophet is okay because she can group and she can also push lanes, and she's also a good laner. Lina is really good as well. She's also a good pusher and stuff. She can do her own thing as well. You can push and then try to gank.
Those are mirrors, though.
Yeah. Oh, do you play carry?
Yeah, I do play carry.
Okay. So Sven is a really good option. Jug is a good option. Ursa is okay as well, but you need to be smart on Ursa. You can't just get mask and try to go Roche randomly. You got to use your brain when you play him for sure. But Sven and Jug are really good for those reasons. Like they scale really well. They're strong laners. They can push lanes. They can team fight. They can do it all basically. Spectre is also good, but kind of like a little different because she's like so easy. It's not bad to play Spectre by any means, but she's a good hero to win games on. Okay.
Apologies. You say that Spectre was easy, like an easy hero?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think so? I don't think so.
No, I think she's easy if you get the basics down right, because like the hardest part of playing carry is deciding when to fight, right? Like deciding when to go to fights rather than just farming. Spectre, you don't have to decide. You just show up to fights and you can just farm in between. It's hard to farm efficiently on Spectre, yes, but I think the hardest part of carry is by far like knowing when to fight, and you don't have to think when you play Spectre.
Yeah, that's true, but I mean, winning a game with the Spectre, it's like
it's super easy.
I mean, look at my Dota wolf. I lost like 4 games with the Spectre.
All right, let's look at your Spectre win rate. And like you can't look at it like that though. Hold on.
I'm actually good at Spectre.
Yeah, hold on. You can't look at it like that. You can't look at it as like I lost 3 Spectre games out of 4 this week. It has to be like an overtime thing. You can't just look at that isolated thing. Because like if I look at this, like if I just look at this, like okay, I'm gonna judge. What's your name?
My real name?
Or just like whatever your Dota name is.
Serena.
Okay, so I'm gonna judge Serena based on like these 5 games. Okay, Serena never wins Dota ever. He's never won a game. He's never ever won a game. So yeah, no, I do have issues saying that. The correct pronunciation for sure. But yeah, but either way, you understand what I'm saying, right? Like, so you can't look at it that way. It's super unhealthy.
That I was trying to say, it's not as easy to win games with the Spectre as people think. Cause
I think it's really easy, to be honest. I mean, like.
What do you think so? No, I'm not sure. Have you played Spectre? Like.
I just farm and fight when I want to, and like do a little bit of like ganking. It's like there's not even a set theory. Like I don't know. I'm not a carry player, and I have a 75% win rate with this hero. Like I don't know. I think the hero is super easy. But anyway, like this is kind of a silly debate anyway.
It's personal.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. Okay. So yeah, I think we should wrap things up then. I hope this is helpful, man. This is definitely like something I haven't done before, like the whole mental side of things. But it's definitely interesting to talk about.
Yeah, it is for sure. I mean,
okay.
It's a skill you have to gain MR, I think. When you have not that much mechanical skills to improve.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing about that is you can always improve your mechanical skills. Like you're not limited.
Of course. But like you say, that you are not gonna gain MR that's hitting 3 creeps more than you used to, or
Yeah.
something like that. Because
Yeah, it won't be as impactful anyway, but it still does matter.
Because when you try to clean MR, the decision makings are way more important, I think, than your actual mechanical skills.
No, for sure. I definitely agree with that.
Okay.
So yeah, I hope this is helpful, man.
Yeah.
Good luck in your games, and let me know if you have any questions. Like about anything. Just feel free to Skype me.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.